something wrong?
Do you believe I think I've been stood up? Oh, I was supposed to have dinner with our friend Dr. Rossi. And I do think he could have called.
Oh. Well, Mother, Dr. Rossi is at the hospital. There's been an emergency. Rodney Harrington's been in a motorcycle accident.
Was he badly hurt?
Well, they still don't know whether he's going to live.
Oh, how terrible. It's very odd. I know Mike is a doctor. I speak of him all the time as Dr. Rossi. And he's fighting to save a young man's life. And this is the first time I've ever really thought about what his being a doctor involves.
That's funny. Someone else just said something very similar to that.
Who?
His brother. I ran into Joe on the way home from school, and he was the one that told me about the accident. He's really very upset.
Oh? I can't imagine Joe Rossi being upset about anything.
Well, that's because you don't know him. He and Rodney aren't good friends, and granted, they don't even know each other very well, but he's still very upset about this. Well, what I'm really trying to say is that Joe does think and feel. He's not an animal.
I never said that he was.
Well, obviously, you never really wanted to have anything to do with him, and that's all right. You don't have to, but... Well, at least give him credit for being more of a person than you thought him to be, even more a person than I thought him to be.
But I'm not going to argue with you about it, Carolyn. After all, he's Michael Rossi's brother.
You really like Dr. Rossi, don't you? You were really upset when you thought that he stood you up.
Oh, it's just that I talked to him a few days ago, and I thought maybe he misunderstood something I said.
Well, what did you say?
Oh, I told him I just wanted a chance to think about things.
What things?
Oh, about him, about me, about you, a lot of things.
Well, that makes sense.
Well, I certainly never meant that I didn't want to see him again, and I thought for a minute there he might have taken it that way.
Oh.
Hey, are you hungry?
Yeah, I could stand a little something.
Well, may I have the pleasure of your company in the kitchen, where we will go and we will raid the ice.
Is Dr. Rossi in his office?
He's still in surgery.
Oh, when can I see him?
We won't know the results for several hours.
What?
They need you right now. The waiting. That's always the worst part.
What is it?
Isn't that why you're here?
What happened?
Rodney Harrington. He had an accident. They're operating now. I just assumed that you knew.
Rita? Norman?
Thank you for coming, Reverend.
Is there anything I can do? Would you like me to wait with you?
There is something. Would you talk to Betty?
Where is she?
She's in Dr. Rossi's office. Just sitting. She won't talk to me. She won't even let me stay with her.
Well, I don't want to intrude.
You won't. Just talk to her. You know, get her to listen to you. Like you did with me when I was confused.
Well, I'll try.
Thank you.
Is it over?
Not yet. No. No, I'll go away if you want me to, but I think I might be able to help you if you'd let me.
How?
Just by talking, by listening.
I don't want to either.
Betty.
Leave it off.
Mike Rossi is a fine doctor.
Honest, too.
No, I don't know exactly what happened.
Straight from the shoulder. Rod could live. Rod could die. No promises, no guarantees, not even a few words to make it easier.
I know exactly how you feel, just sitting there, waiting. But, Rod knows that you love him, and that's important. Love is important because when two people's lives are built on love and trust, well, and trust, there's nothing, there isn't anything they can't surmount. You see, because God gave us the capacity to love. Sometimes.
Norman, are you bringing good news?
No news is good news, and that's what I'm spreading. You know, I swear they got the heat on in there. There's no air, just smells of rubbing alcohol and disinfectant. There's a lot of people getting together trying to get a breath.
Yeah, my room was all hot and stifly. I just couldn't wait there any longer. I had to get out and move around just like you're doing. Look here. Rodney's going to be all right.
Yeah. What makes you think he wouldn't?
No, I only...
I know. It's just the old people that die, sick ones. You know, my mother spent a lot of time in there.
I know.
But she was sick. You could see it in her face. And I could tell what time of day it was by the color of pills she took.
But Rodney's young and he's strong.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Here, let's go over to the store. We'll find some work to do. No. Go back and tell the nurse where you'll be, and then we'll go on over there. Go on.
You know, usually nobody our age dies. Unless they're in a war. There was this kid. In high school, in my gym class. He was a tall, skinny kid. He handed out all the equipment. And one day he wasn't there. I didn't even miss him. I can't even remember his name.
It isn't important.
Yes, it is. If you have a name, somebody should remember it. How is she going to prove that you existed if nobody remembers your name? It's like you were never born. If I could just remember that guy's name.
Thank you. Swelling above the lesions was just too extensive for any real probing. He's still hemorrhaging.
Well, we'll see what we find out with the angiogram, huh?
Some indications are there. Want me to schedule one?
No, not yet.
Bye.
I know. There's a possibility that we have a subdural hematoma there. Huh?
Very possible.
We have certain brain stem signs.
His breathing's very shallow, Mike.
What if the higher centers of the spinal cord are affected?
We have to go under that assumption.
That's just one more complication to consider.
But one you won't be able to treat unless you stop the bleeding.
Fern, I think it's time they got him in the recovery room. Thank you. Harry, listen, what I want to try and do is give his system a chance to recover. That's all. Let the normal body functions take over again. The central nervous system has had a tremendous shock. Thank you. We'll just let time run its course, that's all. And then we'll do the angiogram and the EEG if necessary.
All right. But don't wait too long.
Now, what's your definition of too long?
In my sobering experience, that when the patient dies, we've usually waited too long. And there's a very great possibility in this case.
I'm aware of that, Harry.
it's a long drive home, and I'll never get there standing here.
Thank you. Thanks, Harry.
At least we removed the bone fragments.
Yeah.
You want me to speak to Mrs. Harrington?
No, that's all right. I'll talk to her. I just go downstairs and put on my optimistic face.
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
No.
Eddie,
No.
listen to me.
I want to see him. I want to be
No,
with him.
Betty.
Where is he? I can stop my drinking anytime I want to. Can you stop your problem with Jill anytime you want to?
It was an accident. And the police have the report. Check with them. I intend to. You're not going to get away with it. I'll tell you that. Not after what you've done to my son. You're not going to get away with it.